Hey everyone, Emma here, also known as 8vinyllow, bringing all of you another video. Today's video is going to be my Winter 2026 vinyl haul and pickups video. I want to share with you guys what I have been adding to the collection over the last couple of months. I know it's been a little bit since I've been on here to do an update. Things have just been really busy, all good on my end, so I hope that all of you are doing well. It's great to be back at it, and I'm excited to share these pickups with you. I also have some VCLT for my friends Marika and Jenna that I want to share with all of you, as well as give a shout out to my buddy Steve. A is for Alice, B is for Bob. We all know Steve here in the VC. He sent me this awesome Arcata Theater shirt. Arcata Theater is a great venue here in Illinois, and of course this shirt is even better as it has the Cheap Trick lettering. So this will see a lot of love from me. Thank you, Steve, for that. But with that, let's get into the pickups. Let's talk about Buddy Guy. First up, I recently saw Buddy Guy during his annual January residency at his blues club, which is Buddy Guy's Legends. Absolute staple in Chicago. If you're ever in the city, you have to go there. Now, I've gone the past few years. It's always an incredible time. It's one of the traditions that I genuinely look forward to every single year. As always, right, I came home with a handful of guitar picks, hung out with some amazing people, and just had an absolute blast. What was really neat about it was especially fun being in Chicago because this happened to be the night that the Chicago Bears, played the Rams, and we all know how that went, but they have the game on at the TVs and Legends, and the energy before the show, it was just electric. Bears lost, whatever, but it was still really cool to be downtown, right in the thick of it all, sharing that moment with some really special people. Anyway, while I was there, I had the opportunity to meet Buddy again, which is always like a surreal thing, and I picked up his newest album that came out last July, Ain't Done with the Blues. And no, he effing is not. At 89 years old, he's still absolutely killing it. Now, I already had this album in the collection, courtesy of Santa Jim, but I ended up grabbing another one so that I could get this one signed and added to the collection. This album is crazy good. It actually just recently won the Grammy Award for Best Traditional Blues Album. Again, this man is 89 years old. He's still touring. He just announced like a crazy tour coming up here. He's still winning Grammys. He's still recording. I love this man. So if you've not listened to this, it has some great collaborations on here. Give this a listen. It is incredible. Buddy Guy ain't done with the blues. No, he's not. He's still just absolutely killing it. Next album that I picked up, nothing screams blues more than Minor Threat, 1983. Now, if you know me, you know that I love Fugazi, right? I love Ian Mackaye, and so naturally, I love Minor Threat. Out of Step, again, came out in 1983. This was one of those records that just needed to be in the collection, right? You have Look Back and Laugh on here, which is excellent. One of my favorite songs just of all time. So great. And I can't remember if I've shared this story or not on here, but I actually recently had the chance to see Ian Mackaye and also meet him, which was really cool. He was doing a Q&A a few months ago alongside a screening of We Are Fugazi from Washington, D.C., a new documentary that came out a couple of years ago. Now, the documentary itself was like incredible, right? Such a powerful snapshot of a band and just a community as a whole. But seeing Ian in the flesh and hearing him speak was on another level. He's so thoughtful, so grounded. Everything that he says just makes sense to me. He has a really unique way about him if you know him. But one thing that stood out to me, he said, embrace the absurdity and just fucking do it. And honestly, absolutely correct. So if I'm going to leave you with anything in this video today, it's that. Now, one of those kind of cool moments where, after the screening, he was meeting some people and I had a chance to talk with him, and it was very brief, but it was great. So Ian Mackaye, love him. Fugazi, Minor Threat, love this stuff. Let's get into this Cynz. Next up is a brand new release that just came out a few weeks back from one of my favorite modern bands. This is Confess from the Cynz. Now, if you've been around this channel for a bit, you know how much I love their 2024 release, Little Miss Lost. That album, when I first listened to it, just absolutely wowed me. Great modern, full throttle rock and roll. This one's the same exact way. This is their second release on Gem Records. And that partnership between Cindy and Henry just hit on this album. You have melody-driven rock songs with substance in there. Sonically, it sounds excellent. I think this was produced by Kurt Ryle, House of Vibes, Gripweed. I love Gem Records. I love these guys. Women Child is a standout track on here. They also do a great rocking cover of Tom Petty's You Wreck Me. Another standout song off of here is My Father's Gun. Phenomenal. Just really an incredible album, and I would say that already it absolutely deserves to be in the conversation of my favorite releases of the year. So I ordered this directly from the Cynz, and this is going to get me into my next record. And they threw this in, and I did not have this. They just threw this in for free. This is the Cynz Lil Devil. This one came out in 2016, and again, totally unexpected and so appreciated. This album still has that kind of core Cynz DNA. You have those big guitars, sharp hooks, unmistakable vocals from Cindy. The attitude is here, the strong songwriting is here. So I'm really excited to have this in the collection. So thank you to the Cynz, specifically Henry, I think it was, that threw this in as well. Awesome addition. All right. Next up, a staple for any record collection. Finally added this to the collection. Do I need to say more? Grace by Jeff Buckley. This is one of those records that almost feels like a rite of passage to own. Came out in 1994, of course, Buckley's only studio album during his time, and over the years it has grown into one of the most revered albums of all time, just beautifully crafted from start to finish. Need I say more? I also watched the new documentary, It's Never Over. I watched it a couple months ago when it came out, and in my opinion, that documentary is essential for any music lover, so if you haven't seen it, go watch it. I think it's on HBO, but it adds so much context to who he was as an artist and a person, and so after watching that, finally, adding Grace to the collection just felt right? What an album, what a voice, what an artist. Jeff Buckley, Grace. Whew. Let's get into some Squeeze. This is Babylon and On by Squeeze. Now, they're one of those bands that just consistently deliver sharp songwriting and melodies that just absolutely stick with you until the end of time. A huge reason why I wanted to pick this up is because of Hourglass. Now, I don't care who you are. If that song doesn't get you just absolutely jamming every time, we can't be friends. It is what it is. There is something about that song that just hits every single time. It's one of my all-time favorite feel-good songs, instant mood booster, put on Hourglass, sing along. Oh, so good. Anyway, added this to the collection. It's not an 8vinyllow video without some power pop. This is Seconds of Pleasure by Rockpile. This came out in 1980, the only studio album by Rockpile. Now, they were essentially a supergroup built around basically Nick Lowe and Dave Edmunds. You have Billy Bremner in here, you have Terry Williams, and at the time, right, Nick Lowe and Dave Edmunds, they were both building successful solo careers, so this was a really unique kind of collaboration, again, under the name Rockpile. You have pub rock in here, power pop, little bit of like your rockabilly influences, which kind of makes sense if you're looking at who's involved in this project. But this also came with the original bonus 7-inch 4-song EP, which is Nick Lowe, Dave Edmunds sings the Everly Brothers. So a really cool addition to the collection, perfect companion piece, and just basically adds to the charm of this whole package. So really excited to finally have this in the collection, and there you go for my label people. Cool grab. This was like $10 with the EP. All right. I want to move on to the VCLT from Marican and Jenna. And Jared, we can't forget Jared. We got to throw him in there. Now we always exchange record gifts around this time of year. Finally, we were able to sit down. I mean, we tried around like Christmas time and it didn't work out, but we finally found some time to sit down, open up some gifts, and we did a Zoom call and all of that. I just love them so much. So I do want to share what they sent my ways because these are some pretty cool additions. Now, Marican and Jared, they sent me a couple of goodies, and the first one is a CD from a band that I've been meaning to get into. And this is Cage the Elephant's Tell Me I'm Pretty. came out a handful of years ago now. Now, again, I don't know a lot about Cage the Elephant outside of their name, but when I listened to this, I was sold. This album in particular, there's a song on here called How Are You True? This was a standout track for me on this. So yeah, really great release. I really enjoyed this, so thank you, Marican and Jared, for that. And they also sent me, and this is a band that's completely new to me, this is The Heart by Grayscale. Again, I don't know a lot about this band, but Marican told me that this was one of her favorite releases of last year, and so that made me really excited to kind of dig into this. I trust her taste completely. And after listening to it, right, I loved it. It has that sort of alternative indie modern sound with a little bit of like pop punk in there. Anyway, it's extremely catchy. The songwriting is great on here. I love the themes. That's one of the things I love most about doing these exchanges. It just pushes me into records and bands that I might not have picked up or listened to on my own. And 99% of the time, I end up really, really enjoying it. So yeah, Grayscale, The Heart, Marican, you were spot on with this. I loved it. Moving on to Jenna. Now, if you know Jenna, she is an artist, and this is what the album came wrapped in. And all I'm going to say is, if you know, you know. you know. Anyway, let's get to the album. So this is a total classic. My deadheads out there will love this. She sent me American Beauty by the Grateful Dead. I have been completely locked into their stuff recently, so all you deadheads out there, you're welcome. R.I.P. Bobby, by the way. But this one has already been, this has been in steady rotation, and I just opened this up a couple weeks ago, and it's just been on my turntable. So also glad to add this to the collection. Thank you, Jenna, for this. And that wraps up my 2026 vinyl haul. So thanks for tuning in, checking out. I hope that all of you are doing well. Like I said, I hope to be back and be a little bit more frequent with my videos. We'll see what happens over the next couple of months. But got some exciting things planned, and I hope to share that with all of you as well. With that, everybody, I hope that all of you have a great day, night, whenever you're watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.